Hey, this is the Review Junkie, and today I'll be reviewing the new superhero movie, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. As always, my review will be illustrated and the artwork is done by myself. And if you like movies, art, and comic books, please hit that subscribe button because all my reviews are hand-drawn, and I like to get to 1,000 subscribers soon so my channel can be official. This movie stars the voice talents of Shamik Moore, Haley Steinfeld, Oscar Isaac, Jake Johnson, Issa Rae, Brian Tyree Henry, and Luna Lauren Velez. This is a non-spoiler review, so everything I discuss will have been shown in the trailer. Absolutely no spoilers. I'll tell you briefly about the plot, the characters, my pros and cons, final thoughts, and this is worth checking out at your local movie theater. So things pick up not that long after the last film ended. Miles is living his best life and still juggling being a student by day and superhero every other moment nothing crazy happens between 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. With everyone returning to their own universe in the last movie, Gwen finds herself missing their friendship, so she ends up finding a way back to his world, which I won't spoil. We also have the introduction of a new villain, the Spot, the Spider Society, along with tons of Spider people, and of course, Spider-Man 2099 Miguel O'Hara. So what on earth is going on? Alright, so I enjoyed this a lot. It's pure entertainment. The original was a favorite, and it's a crying shame we waited 5 years for this. That's half a decade. The 2022 release date got pushed back by a whole year, and some kid who saw the original could be going through puberty right now. Now, I don't want you to think I'm a dumb blonde and that I'm constantly having blonde moments, but I'm going to be upfront with you that I kind of find the multiverse to be a bit confusing. I understand how it works with the Flash because he runs so fast that he travels across time, and Doctor Strange casts a spell and messed up. But in Everything Everywhere All at Once, I did find myself a bit lost just by a smidge. So everything I loved about the last one is back again, and the creative team brings the creativity level up several notches. It's at a level 15 here. And with sequels, sometimes more of the same can be a bad thing, but this is animated and you can literally do anything and get away with murder. At the same time, even though some beats are repeated, like how certain characters introduce themselves, the glitch, and so on, I still found it refreshing and exciting. It's clever in how it deceives you because I think it's all in the artwork. There's so much going on, and it keeps your eyes so busy that you may not pick up on the repetition. And speaking of the artwork, that is the real highlight here. It is such a jumble and mishmash of various art styles, from crayon coloring to pencil sketches to a moving painting and so forth. It embraces each one, throws it in a cooking pot, and voila, magic sauce. There was one character that literally looked like a pencil sketch in a notebook brought to life in the first act, and I wanted to pause and look at it up close because it was that good. Next is the character development. It's well thought out, and we get more on Gwen. She's going through a lot, and things get further fleshed out here. Haley did a great job because there were so many times in her voice acting where the delivery of her pain was impeccable. And the same goes for Miles. They both conveyed tons of personality and emotions to their voice acting, and because it was filled with heart, you end up taking out your pom-poms to root for them. Now, for me, the main thing that I was looking forward to the most was the introduction of Spider-Man 2099. I'll always remember that iconic 1990s cover where the very first issue came out, but he actually isn't in this movie a lot like I thought he would be. Oscar's great here, and his voice is very authoritative. It fits so well with the character and his agenda, and his laser-type spider webs looked amazing. There is one thing I have to point out, and I'm just going to come out and address the pink elephant in the room. Why on earth did they make Miguel so unattractive? You know damn well someone in the character design department deliberately screwed up because he was working from home during the pandemic. Okay. Now, I thought the villain Spot was only going to have one scene, but he actually has a larger role, and he has the same powers as Blink and opens up portals left and right. And they did find inventive and funny ways to play with his power, and it was very comedic. I was also surprised with his big reveal, and it tied in nicely with events that have already transpired. In fact, everyone here has a secret, and when those reveals came out, I was gagging, especially in the third act when they doubled down on the reveals. The last 20 minutes, it is one juicy reveal after another, and there's something in the last 5 minutes where a character's mask comes off, and I saw that coming from a mile away. The build-up was deliberately slow to shock the audience, but they didn't shock me. They thought I was Boo Boo the Fool, but I knew what was going down. Okay? Okay. I also like the relationships here. I appreciated its time in building things up. There was more dialogue and character interactions, and as certain events unfolded, it made the audience care more. It was meaningful and unexpected because I feel we don't get a lot of emotional connection these days with animated films, especially in the last few years, but this one has it, and you're invested in Miles and Gwen's journey. I also enjoyed the Easter eggs and the spider cameos a lot. It put a smile on my face. Many are for shock value purposes, so if you're expecting dedicated story arcs for each variation, then you're out of luck. But because they were so great, I do want each one of them to get solo films. And it also made me wonder if this movie would be special if it wasn't multiverse related. Like, can Miles deliver a solo film had he not had an assist? Now, I do have some minor gripes, and I wish this movie was longer because I was entertained through and through, and I wouldn't mind if this went on for another hour. I didn't want it to end. Everyone gasped when the credits rolled, so clearly I must have been the only one that knew it was two parts. And my second gripe is the art style varies, and one scene seemed like CGI animation from the 90s when CGI just started, like Toy Story 1. And I understand the look they were going for, but I wasn't a fan and it looked amateurish and sloppy. Lastly, the characters that get shortchanged here, I really hope they have larger parts in the sequel. So this brings me to my final thoughts, and I was going to give this a 9, but you know what? I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. It's so close to being a masterpiece, and the extra point is for the unique artwork. If you love the first one, you'll like this even more. It is a bit more mature and sophisticated, so I don't know if really young kids will follow or just enjoy the pretty colors. And this is for the parents who brought their kids and the teens who sneaked in and kept making noises nonstop and running around. Thanks for ruining my experience, and thanks to Sony for bringing the other Spider properties to the big screen so us comic book and superhero fans can enjoy awesome content. Hopefully the MCU and DC will consider doing the same. Also, a big kudos to Sony for the diverse casting. It's refreshing to see the landscape be inclusive. There are no end credit scenes. I stayed all the way to the end and didn't get what I needed. So this is a big green light from me, so support your local movie theaters and check this out on the big screen where it's meant to be seen. Thanks for checking out my review. If you like, please subscribe. Helps the channel out a lot. Hit that thumbs up button. Feel free to share this with your friends. And if you happen to have a movie you'd like me to review, please let me know. I'd be happy to watch and illustrate it for a future video. Thanks again, and I hope the pictures put a smile on your face.